Hey Ernest, just looking at your final. Looking at version 6 that you sent me on April 22nd. So here's the sequence. We got a cool walk away. Okay, so 10 seconds. There it is. I'm gonna go. You also made a video. Let me go see if that's the same. EnestFinal. Yeah, from the 28th. So this is step key. Don't know why it's playing back so badly. I'll have to find out what's going on with that. So if I kick out a play blast, I wonder if you have to play blast what's over here. I'm not actually familiar with this camera sequencer thing, so maybe that's why you're having problems with the play blast. I'm gonna go set playback range, play blast, selected shots, play blast all shots, sequence. Let's try this guy. Sure. File name. Let's just put it on the desktop. Play blast. Let's see what happens. It does just look like you just need to kind of look over your whole final really closely and just figure out, okay, what doesn't look natural? What can I do that make it look like a more realistic human movement? Because you said you weren't sure what to do next. So yeah, I would just look at it really close, act it out, show it to different people, give feedback. I'll give you my feedback, but I'll see what I can do in just 10 minutes. So yeah, this is the play blast. I don't know why what you sent me is all choppy, but this is more or less what's going on with right now. There's a lot of stuff to fix. I can just start going over it, and hopefully you get to as much as you can. I would start by when you generate the play blast, just show the polygons. I would probably also create a plane, bam, just to have kind of for reference on stuff. And then I would, wait, where'd it go? Where did it go? I closed the window. Crap. I don't know how to get that back. I never used the whatever sequence thing you were using. Probably animation editors. Camera sequencer? Yeah! I think I might dock it maybe down here or something so I can see what's going on. So I'd start by going like, what's your plan? Like, are you trying to go for a cinematic view or because you're going from, this is a cool like cinematic sequence here, and then this one compositionally I'd probably work on, like if you're just going doing a drawing or something with animation, you want to make sure like the first, let's go back here, go back. I gotta figure out how to use this tool, man. Okay. So if you're going to draw, like this is not really a super appealing perspective. So I usually would just generally drop the camera. And you got to ask yourself, like, think about who's holding that camera in real life. So why don't we just move the camera down and just find some angle that maybe we like better. Something that's more appealing. I think you were kind of on the right track. Does this have a weird scale? It does. Wonder what's up with that. I don't know. I'd play around with some different camera angles, figure out which one you like the best. Rule of thirds we talked about is kind of like the third of a frame is about here and here. So it's just kind of naturally like where people's eyes sort of will gravitate towards, and it's just like shot composition. Like if you take a art design class, they'll cover a lot of this stuff and go and kind of drill it into your brain. So maybe that's a better angle. Who knows? I like it better, but now we kind of have a pretty similar angle. I wonder what if we just look at your. It's really hard for me to. It's kind of challenging to critique the Play Blast by itself, but we could look at this one and try how that goes. So watch the overextension on the knee. You know, pick an angle that feels a little bit more dynamic. I would just drop the camera so it's lower on frame. Let me render this out again with without the splines on and stuff. This is gonna, yeah, okay. So play blast sequence. Try that again. I like that you did the expression pass on stuff. Give people some life. Oh, I think it's busted because I'm writing to that file. Okay, cool. Try it again. Desktop. I think it's that guy. Open with Keyframe Pro. Okay, so yeah, so you got two characters looking at each other. You know, pick an angle. We can critique that other one if you like. You can see right here the leg kind of overextends, and then the toe slides back for some reason. I would just lift the toe up or move the hips back or something to get that to feel more dynamic. I watch the curve on the hand because your hand kind of just stops and then moves forward, and you want it to kind of like smoothly move through the air. The spin is cool. I'd lift the toe up so the knees aren't overextended. I'd move this foot so that foot is bent more. This foot plant's pretty heavy. I'd probably soften that up a little bit. Watch the blade angle because you're kind of just coming through on a weird angle here. So this guy's trying to attack, but the blade is like clearly not going to hit this guy. So you just kind of turn the blade so you see the blade side towards the enemy. This pose feels strange. Like I just watch the knees and I'd look at reference, like what should this pose look like? This just feels weird on where the foot is. If you were going to draw something, you probably wouldn't draw it like that. And then he's like, oh, you hit my sword. You'd probably have the hands together more earlier. So it would be like... I think this elbow would be over here more already, and you'd probably have the hand here and then the elbow out already, you know. So then this elbow would kind of already be moved there. That way the force would go more straight into the because you want the blade to go straight in at this angle into the guy and not kind of come up and around. Because if he was coming up and around, then the hand would follow this line of action. But you want your hand to kind of go right into the chest and feel better, and not this angle. Yeah, see how it kind of turns as it goes in? It feels weird. And then the hand comes off, but you want to kind of, when the hand comes off, you can kind of, right now it just kind of goes like this, but it's sort of an opportunity. You can have it go, I don't know if you want the hand to come off on purpose or not, but, so I would either go slide this way, or like something more interesting than what you got is worth looking into. And then the blade kind of, right in here, the blade kind of slides around in his chest. You want to lock that down into a specific spot so it feels like it's attached to the character. Watch the curve on his hand so it like pops up for some reason. I think it goes over and it goes pop and then back down. Go like bam, 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 boom, pop up and then down. Smooth that out. You got a guy. So suddenly there's a red dude. He's looking behind him. He's stabbed. You want to have this guy still coming up on this shot like he just arrived, because it's weird that he just showed up for no reason, you know. So if the first frame here was him like running in, you know, to this position, that would work better. And then he's like, what's going on? Yeah, have him, we'll step into that position. Watch the eyes right here. Like I don't see his pupils, so move it so you can see them. Otherwise, I think this pose feels pretty good. Just fix the eyes. Let's see. I would watch the hips right here. The hips should be more spread out. Which one's that one? Right there. Can I move the hips without everything else? No, boy. Here we go. Oh, you haven't animated that at all. That might be okay. More like this. Like just feels so much more natural just dragging, moving that out. I'm breaking stuff. Yeah, so you want to do a pass through your stuff and try and get more natural feeling poses, you know. Go back here. Yeah, so fix the hips there. Fix the eyes. And then we're sort of breaking the 180 rule here in cinematography. You definitely don't want to do that if you're making a portfolio piece for your work. So you would Google the 180 rule and cinematography. I think I posted it on the class at some point. The only difference here is the red guy would be, you just adjust the camera a little bit so that way the red guy's here, you know, and this guy's here. That way people aren't jumping around on the screen because it makes it hard to follow what's going on. You can Google it and check out how that works. The same deal like compositionally on this shot. If the camera was a little lower, it'd be a little bit cleaner, look better, be better drawing kind of deal. Just think about it like what is that camera? Is that camera a hover drone? Is that camera a guy holding a camera? And you kind of is there a tripod somewhere? Like you kind of make up like a story for the cameraman because the camera is like one of the characters in the scene. I like this camera move. It's kind of feeling cool. I like how you're like moving it's like almost like the cameraman's following the action. I think if you did this on all your shots, I think you'd be better off. I think it'd look pretty cool. There's some cool stuff going on. I like the hop. I like the step in. It looks like you spent your most amount of your time on this shot. I'd be careful not to cover the face just for drawing and following eye line. I'd move the hand down just a little bit so you never quite cover up the eyeballs. I'd lead more with the head, so probably on this pose I'd turn the head so the head's leading the body and the chest and stuff. Because it's kind of surprising that it keeps turning. Watch where you're lifting the foot because right here, all this guy's weight. I'm just kind of going through this as fast as I can. There's a lot of stuff here to look at. If you drew a line straight down from this character, his weight is all over in this area, but because you're lifting that foot up right there, it's just not possible for humans to do that. He'd fall over. And I think that's where are we? So there's a lot going on here. Step. Here we go. Let's see. Right there. Yeah, there's no way you could lift your foot up in real life. Like you just move his hips, just move him over to there. Because of momentum and stuff, it doesn't have to be all the way over here in order to lift the other guy's foot up. See how much better that feels? It's crazy. There we go. Yeah, so if this happened in real life, gravity would make him fall. You know what I mean? Like you just can't do it. It's like he'd be over. He'd be dead by then. I mean, he'd be on the ground because he screwed up. If that happened in real life. Yeah, but if you just watch a ton of like movement and fight choreography and study it and frame by frame it, and then just go crazy on your scene and figure out what can I do to make my scene feel better. So especially right here on the arm. I think you want to pick something to go first, like the sword or the arm. I wonder if I can act this out. If I had a sword, but just like it's not a very good angle, but have it like drag behind or go first, and like the weight of the sword like pulls the arm, or have the sword fall first and then bring the arm with it, or something, or no, drag behind. So you could fall, have the shoulder fall, and then the sword drag behind. Because right now everything moves together, and you kind of want to watch doing that ever. So what I mean is, it's kind of like this angle. So it looks like he's falling right here. Oh no, right there. That's where it feels weird. So you have him flip all the way over. So you could just bring the elbow in and back up like this. So if you just act that out, get your friends, have someone else do it. Like get in you can't just bring your arm. It just doesn't really happen that way. So his arm would come, his arm would come down like that. So just act that action out, and then act that and just do it. So you're sort of looking for reasons to do that. So especially like when his hips hit the ground, the back doesn't do anything. So I can imagine my arm as my back. So when this hits, like something's gonna happen with the rest of me. Like so, as soon as my elbow hits, like the my back is gonna go if I can do it in this camera. Ugh. Like, there's always gonna be like some bend or something that goes, ugh. You know, like as soon as my ass hits the chair, then my body's gonna, or you can even see the wiggle right there, or it go, ugh. You know, something. So instead of just have the guy just hit, you know, you kind of get that momentum to keep going through the character's body. If I was going to do that, I would go, there's the stop, and I would sort of keep going. So, you know, you'd compress the back or something, you know, to try and fake the momentum. You might even be able to, nope, you can't. Sometimes just doing that little amount of stuff starts to make it feel more alive. You just got to do a pass. Just look at reality, act it out, figure out, okay, what's going on when I do it, and how is that different? That's why I said, like, sometimes it's better to just go and work on another animation. So if you feel like there's nothing left for you to do, just go animate something else and keep going, and you'll pick up all these little tricks. Nice. Let's see, what else can we do? So watch the action. So your line of action kind of goes horizontal and then jumps down and then goes across. It looks like the weapon's coming around and then it pops back down and then goes over. So you just want it to feel like one smooth thing. So watch the line of action there. I like this pose. I like how you ease into it. That's pretty sweet. I like the guy falling back and stuff. Some cool stuff going on there. You can do a little bit more overlap if you wanted, like on that pose. I might like leave this behind even more. It'll help it feel like that little extra bit softer. The same thing on the hands, like you could, I don't forget which pose it was. You know, you could twist this back to kind of let the body pull the arm back, you know? So you get a little bit softer move on the fall. So instead of just going like this, you just kind of go, ugh, you know. Anything you can do to start making stuff feel more organic, you want to do that. And like this stop, when you have everything on your rig stop moving exactly the same time. So settle into it. So as soon as that foot stops, the body's going to kind of, you know, you can imagine, you can kind of hear my foot stomping, but then the rest of my body's going to settle. I mean, you can't really show you here, but, you know, when he stops, you'll see. Just get the hips doing something and settle out as he's thinking. So you have like some body mechanics. You see how everything just stops all at the same time. You want to fix all that stuff. And then you could do a breath right here, you know, because he worked hard, so he should be out of breath. And then he walks away. And then you could do, you know, you could do some stuff there. You could do another breath. Maybe he's thinking as he's walking away or whatever. Anyway, there's a watch the knee overextended right there. Watch the overextension on the knees. Anyway, there's a bunch of stuff to work on. So do a pass on stuff, send it back over. I'll give you more notes. Okay, see you later.